I've seen a lot of people changing their motorcycles engine oil as their own. I really appreciate what they're doing, but the only disappointing fact is that most of the people follow the procedure partially. Unfortunately, a lot of people believe that changing the engine oil is just about draining the oil from the bottom and filling from the top. But technically, it's not really the entire process, but it's just the part of it. So today we have a classic 500 Desert Storm over here for which the engine oil needs to be changed. So we are gonna see procedure we need to take care while changing the engine oil for the Royal Enfield UC engine motorcycles. And this is exactly same for this process is applicable for both 350cc and 500cc motorcycles. Basically, there are three places we need to open at the bottom of the engine. One is the magnetic drain plug, secondary oil drain bolt. The third one is the sump filter lid. So after opening up these three places, we need to clean two magnets and one filter. Then finally, we need to open up the oil filter and replace it. So I'll explain one by one. This magnetic drain plug and the sump filter lid. So both these magnets ensure to filter out all the metal particles produced while the engine is in service. It just prevents the metal particles from going back into the engine, which may lead to the excessive wear and tear of the engine, and some places it may form a slug inside the engine and accumulate somewhere, and it may choke the oil lines. So cleaning and installing these two magnets properly is an essential thing in engine oil changing process. There are two oil filters mainly in the engine. One is the sump filter and the second one is the engine oil filter. So the sump filter need to be cleaned and repacked in a sufficient manner, and the oil filter needs to be replaced. So it's always better to replace the oil filter each time we change the engine oil, because there might be some particles which may escape from filtering out in the previous processes, and it may end up accumulating inside the oil filter. And if at all, if we are using the same oil filter again and again, there are chances that these trapped particles may go back to the engine and may damage the engine or interrupt the oil flow somewhere. So it's always advisable to replace the oil filter each time we change the engine oil. One final thing to take care is that always we need to check the condition of engine oil. Why? Because whenever we change the engine oil, there will be some 10 to 15% of the engine oil may get trapped inside the head. Whenever we fill the new engine oil flow inside the engine takes place. These oil gets mixed with the fresh engine oil that we are adding. So there are chances that if at all the previous engine oil, so if at all the used engine oil is being in a worse manner, you need to flush out the whole engine oil from the engine, from the head and all the associated parts before filling out with the new engine. So it's always necessary to check the condition of the engine oil, whether it's in a good condition or a bad condition or in a poor condition. So according to that, we need to carry out the procedures. So before getting into any action, there are three important rules which we need to keep in mind. The first rule is never operate on an engine which is in hot condition, because you may end up like either you may be damaging the engine or the engine may be damaging yourself. So the second rule is to, while fitting everything back, you always ensure you have a leak tech joint. So you can use any gasket makers like Anabond or 3-bond just to make a leak tech joint over there. Then the third rule is never ever over tighten the bolts, and that comes with experience. So these are the three important things that everyone is about to work on a motorcycle should keep in mind. As I said, this is the magnetic oil drain plug, which is at the bottommost position of the engine. So as you can see here, there is metal accumulated over here. See, as we can see, these are all metal particles produced while the engine was running. So I think now you might have understood the severity of cleaning this part. So that's it. Now this is the secondary, this is the sump filter, and this is the magnetic lid for the filter. As you can see, the metal has been accumulated here as well. since it is magnetic. These are the very essential things. And the third one is this one is the secondary drain bolt, as we discussed before.